Indiana Jones and the Great Circle will have a lot of noise around it because of how late the embargo lifted, but after playing it myself, I don't think anybody looking forward to this game has anything to worry about. Mainly because you get to run fades on Nazis. Who doesn't like doing that? Nah, seriously though, my first impressions of this game, I was a little underwhelmed. Playing as Indy felt a bit dated, climbing was slow, and I didn't quite have a hold on the fisticuffs mechanics. But as I got to the core of the game, I realized and remembered that this is just Machine Games' style, and once you get acclimated with being in Indy's shoes, the game really opens up. The Great Circle stays true to the Indiana Jones franchise. All the typical stuff is there. The crazy tombs with traps, the one-liners after knocking people out, the sole companion always by his side, his fear of snakes, all that. But what's most important to me is that the game stayed true to Machine Games. In fact, I'd say they've gone back before the Wolfenstein games and tapped a bit of the magic that they had at Starbreeze Studios when they made Chronicles of Riddick: Escape from Butcher Bay. There's no superpowers, you're not blessed with Nathan Drake-like unlimited upper body strength because there's a stamina gauge, and you can't just go around shooting everybody. You'll get overwhelmed and one-tapped with the quickness. In fact, there wasn't much pew-pew play in this for me because the game forces you to use the environment to your advantage. Grab that random shovel to knock this fascist out. Crash that glass bottle against a Nazi's face to buy yourself enough time to land a haymaker. It reminded me a lot of Escape from Butcher Bay when I was using screwdrivers to stab enemies. This game's groundedness creates a very deprived and desperate feeling that you'd feel if you were actually in these situations, and it triggers a fight or flight instinct that anytime a game's able to get that out of a player, it's awesome. The premise of the story, there's this Nazi general who's trying to acquire relics that are perfectly aligned around the world, hence the name The Great Circle, and Indiana Jones ends up being the only one who can stop the guy. This takes you on a journey to multiple locations, most of which you are not welcome in. So you're gonna find yourself doing a lot of sneaking around and wearing disguises, which you can still be recognized in if you walk past a guard captain. So you're gonna always be on edge in this game. There's also some side quests and some exploration you can do, so you can go off course a little bit if you wanna really unravel the full story of this game and also spot some nice Indiana Jones Easter eggs. I talked a little bit about the fighting mechanics before. Most of this game, you're gonna be having fist fights and using whatever you can to take dudes out. Landing big punches feels so good in this game when they connect. Seeing enemies take a bow and sometimes stop and contemplate if they wanna even keep fighting is hilarious. I feel like we've all seen these type of mannerisms in real fights before. Also, there's the whip, which is basically your only consistent weapon outside of Indy's useless revolver. And I gotta say, it's fun to use, okay? You can use it to stun enemies, to traverse the environment, to activate levers, and some other racially charged actions not encouraged by the game. There's no skill tree, but there are abilities that you can equip once you find them on the map and unlock them using action points, which you can acquire just progressing in the game and discovering certain items in the environment. The biggest drawback for me were the graphics. It really looks like a PS4, Xbox One game in some sections. I think it's the player models that look a little uncooked to me, and that can be immersion breaking. The level design was incredible, but the character design was a little ugly to me from time to time. But to cut to the chase, I like this game more than I thought I would. I came into this game thinking no one wants an Indiana Jones game in 2024, and I left thinking, man, I just spent 30 plus hours cracking a whip, and I enjoyed it. I was sternly reminded of how brilliant Machine Games is when it comes to first-person experience, and it solidifies that sometimes taking the S out of FPS can be a big W. I think this might be the best game Xbox has put out in quite a while. If you have Game Pass, this is a must play. This is why you have Game Pass. Go support this game. When it hits PlayStation, I definitely think it's worth purchase consideration when it drops on the platform next spring. Those are my thoughts. Special thanks to Bethesda for providing the review copy, and stay tuned to this account for a very racy clip from this game that I hope doesn't go viral, but it probably will because it's provocative as hell.